My child, don't scroll. Stop right here. Listen to me. It's over for you. The pain, the fear, the confusion, the battles, the silent storms, the heaviness that has followed you for so long. It ends now. And your new beginning starts the very moment these words enter your heart. I am speaking to you directly, not through chance, not through luck, not through randomness, but through divine intention. Heaven itself has placed this message in front of you because your spirit is standing on the edge of a shift you have cried for and waited for. You didn't find this. I brought this to you because it is time. My child, I slowed your steps. I interrupted your scrolling. I quieted your thoughts for this exact moment. Heaven pauses when I speak to you like this. Angels stop moving and lean close, for they know what I am about to release into your life. They know the weight of this moment. They know the power these words carry. They know destiny is opening and the old season is losing its grip. Do you feel the stillness around you? That pause in the atmosphere? That sudden pull in your spirit? That is me. That is my presence sitting beside you, guiding your eyes to these lines, wrapping around your heart with holy urgency. Don't scroll. Don't move. Don't turn away from this moment, because this is not just another message. This is a divine intervention. I stepped into your day. I stepped into your timeline. I stepped into your thoughts because your soul needed to hear me right now. You have been walking with unanswered questions. You have been breathing through pain that you didn't understand. You have been carrying wounds that no one saw. You have been smiling while breaking inside. And I watched it all, feeling every tear, hearing every silent cry, holding every shaking breath you didn't know how to steady. My child, I could not let you take another step without stopping you and saying, "It's over. The wait is over. The battle is over. The cycle is over. The season that tormented your heart, the confusion that darkened your thoughts, the fear that gripped your chest at night, it is finished. Heaven has made a decision concerning you. And when heaven decides, nothing on earth can stop it. When I say something is over, it cannot continue. When I close a chapter, no enemy, no person, no force can reopen it. You have wandered through a long night. You have survived storms that tried to take you out. You have endured episodes of pain that others would have collapsed under. You have kept going with an empty heart. You have carried trauma in your chest and still managed to rise each day. I saw all of it. And now, because you refused to give up, because you kept holding on even when you were shaking, because you held on to hope even when hope felt small, heaven is giving you a new beginning. This message is your line between what was and what will be. This is your crossing point. This is where the old loses its authority and the new takes its place. Something holy is shifting around you right now. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but your spirit feels it. That gentle warmth, that sudden calm, that strange sense that something is different. That is my presence touching you. That is my hand reaching into the deepest part of your soul and saying, "You are safe now. You are free now. You are entering a new beginning." There is a reason you paused here. There is a reason your heart leaned in. There is a reason you felt something pulling you to keep reading. You have reached the moment heaven wrote for you long before you were born. A moment where your story turns. A moment where restoration begins. A moment where old chains fall. A moment where your identity rises again. A moment where what felt impossible suddenly becomes possible. Do not ignore this moment. Do not brush this off as just another message. My child, this is me speaking, and I am speaking because you are stepping out of something heavy and stepping into something holy. You have cried enough. You have fought enough. You have questioned enough. You have struggled enough. You have survived enough. Now it is time to live. It is time to breathe again. It is time to feel joy without fear. It is time to walk without carrying everything on your shoulders. It is time for a fresh start, a beginning written by my hands, not your pain. Your new beginning does not come tomorrow. It does not come next week. It does not come someday. It begins now, with these words, with this moment, with this breath. Heaven has declared it. The shift has already started. You stepped into your new season the second you stopped to read this. Do you feel the break in the atmosphere? That is the sound of your old season collapsing. That is the sound of chains falling. That is the sound of your heart being lifted by my love. I am wiping away the old. I am clearing the path. I am breaking the cycle. I am silencing the lies. I am removing the shadows. I am healing the wounds. I am restoring the strength you thought you lost forever. I am giving you your life back, and not the life you had before, a better one, a whole one, a blessed one. But my child, hear me clearly, stay with me. Do not scroll. Do not rush past this moment. One more second of hesitation could delay what I have opened for you. You are standing at the doorway of a new season. Do not walk away now. Let me finish what I started in this moment. Let me speak into the places you kept hidden. Let me rebuild you from the inside out. Let me bring you into the life I always intended for you. Stay with me. The new beginning you prayed for is unfolding as you read. Say amen. Your love restores me if he has healed your brokenness. My child, come closer and listen to me with a calm heart, because I am declaring something over your life that heaven has already sealed. It's over. The attacks, the loneliness, the disappointment, the delay, the fear that stayed longer than it should, the nights that broke you in silence, the weight that sat on your chest, the confusion that stole your peace. That entire season, the one that drained you, tested you, stretched you, and left you feeling empty, it is finished. I am speaking this to you directly so your heart can finally rest and know that you are not returning to what once hurt you. The old season has reached its appointed end. You walked through a long, painful chapter that few people understood. You carried burdens quietly, smiling while your soul was crying. There were days you told yourself you were fine even when you were trembling inside. You endured storms that no one noticed, storms inside your mind, storms inside your heart, storms that made you question your worth, your purpose, your hope, even your future. You survived things that would have crushed others, and you did it with little support, with little understanding from those around you, and with almost no strength left inside you. Yet still, you got up. Still, you kept going. Still, you pressed forward even when you didn't know how. And because you endured, because you did not give up, because you continued to seek me even when it felt like I was silent, I am now declaring the end of that long chapter. I am closing it myself. Another day of that pain will not follow you into your new beginning. The season that hurt you is not allowed to touch what I am opening for you next. The enemy does not get to repeat old cycles. The wounds of the past do not get to reopen. The disappointments that shaped your nights do not belong where you are going. I am putting a final wall between your yesterday, and your tomorrow. You ask me, Lord, how can you say it is over when I still feel traces of it? And I answer you with truth, seasons end in heaven before they end on earth. Breakthroughs are born in the spiritual world before they manifest in the natural world. Freedom begins in the unseen before it shows up in your emotions. You have already stepped out spiritually. You simply haven't felt the full shift yet. But believe me when I say this, I ended it in heaven long before you felt the shift on earth. The moment I spoke the words, the storm lost its power. The moment I declared the change, the darkness was broken. The moment heaven closed the season, earth began moving in alignment with what I decreed. You are catching up to what heaven has already done. Your heart is adjusting to a freedom that was already released. Your spirit is learning how to breathe again after years of carrying things that were too heavy for you. You are beginning to feel life again, hope again, peace again, not because things around you changed yet, but because something inside you is waking up. You feel it even if faintly. The heaviness is loosening. The noise is softening. The confusion is clearing. Your soul knows something has shifted. My child, I need you to understand this. No old battle will cross into your new beginning. What tried to destroy you in the last season has no access to the one I am opening. The enemy that tormented your heart, the voice that lied to you, the fear that chained you, the disappointment that hardened you, none of it is allowed to follow you. The door behind you has closed, and I have sealed it with my own hand. Nothing from your past season has permission to enter your new one. The relationships that drained you will not enter. The cycles that exhausted you will not repeat. The emotional storms will not return. The doors that shut were meant to shut. The endings that hurt were necessary endings. I know there were days when you asked me why certain things collapsed. You questioned why certain people walked away. You asked why certain opportunities died in your hands. You wondered why certain hopes fell apart when you had given everything you could. But my child, every ending was a divine act of protection. I was clearing the old season even when you didn't understand. I was pulling things away that could not go with you where I am taking you. I was cutting ties that would have chained you. I was removing what would have weakened you. I was pruning your life for growth you could not yet see. Now the pruning is over. Now the storm is over. Now the waiting is over. You have crossed into something new, something holy, something written for you long before pain touched your life. I am wiping away the final remnants of the old chapter so you never return to it in your heart, in your mind, or in your spirit. Every message we share is meant to bring you closer to God. If our work brings peace to your heart, you can bless us with your support through super thanks. Your kindness means more than words. Let me touch those places inside you that still tremble. Let me calm the memories that still carry pain. Let me heal the scars that remind you of your battles. Let me speak to the deepest part of you and say, it's over. You can rest now. You are not in survival anymore. You are not walking through fire anymore. You are not fighting for air anymore. I am lifting the weight off your shoulders. I am restoring what the old seasons stole from you. Your peace, your identity, your confidence, your joy, your strength, your clarity. And hear me when I say this, you are not who you were in that season. The storm changed you. The pain matured you. The loneliness deepened you. The trials purified you. You are stronger now. You are wiser now. You are more spiritually awake now. And now that the season is over, you will see why you had to walk through it. You will understand why I didn't let it break you. You will understand why I waited for this exact moment to bring you out. Your new chapter begins clean. Faye. Uncontaminated by the past. Free from the weight of what hurt you. Free from the voices that lied to you. Free from the fear that controlled you. Free from the doubt that held you still. I have wiped the slate clean. I have washed the ground behind you. I have removed the shadows that haunted you. Now breathe, my child. Lift your head. Place your hand in mine. You are stepping into a new beginning, one that nothing from the past can interrupt. The page has turned. The chapter is closed. The season is finished. And nothing, absolutely nothing, will follow you into the life I am opening in front of you. Walk with me. The old is gone. The new has begun. My child, come sit with me in this moment, because I need to talk to you about the weight you carried, the weight that no one else understood, the heaviness that followed you into nights where you could not sleep, the burden that sat in your heart even when you tried your best to smile. I saw everything. I saw the tears you wiped quickly before anyone noticed. I saw the way your chest tightened when anxiety rose without warning. I saw the silent battles you fought inside your own mind. I saw the pain you hid behind your smile, the pain you felt no one would understand, the pain you forced yourself to ignore just so you could keep going. My child, I watched you when the world did not. I listened to the prayers you whispered in the dark. I heard the words you couldn't even speak, the ones that formed only in your heart because your mouth was too tired to utter them. I was there when your tears fell onto your pillow. I counted every single one of them. Not one tear dropped without my notice. Not one cry went unheard. Not one moment of breaking went unseen. There were nights you laid awake staring at the ceiling, wondering why life had become so heavy. Nights when you felt trapped in your own thoughts. Nights when you wondered if you would ever feel peace again. I sat beside you in those moments. You didn't feel me, but I was closer than the blanket covering your body. When you held your breath to quiet your sobs, I held you. When your heart hurt so deeply that you felt it ache physically, I wrapped my presence around you and kept you from collapsing under the weight. You carried grief you didn't know how to explain. You carried wounds that were never healed properly because you had to move on before you were ready. You carried responsibilities that were too heavy for one heart. You carried pain from people who should have loved you better. You carried guilt over things that were never your fault. You carried expectations, fear, shame, disappointment, all of it layering itself over your soul, piece by piece, until you felt like you were suffocating under the weight. And yet you kept going. Even when everything in you begged to stop, you moved forward. You woke up every day with a tired spirit but still made it through. You showed up for others even when you were empty. You gave love while feeling unloved. You encouraged people while silently breaking. You carried others even when your own legs were shaking. My child, heaven watched you do all of this, and heaven wept with you and for you. Do you know how many times you wanted to quit? More times than you admit, even to yourself. There were moments you looked at your life and thought, I can't do this anymore. There were days you whispered to yourself, I'm tired. I'm so tired. There were times when your heart felt too weak to beat another day. You didn't tell anyone, but I heard every thought. I felt every tremble in your spirit. I knew how close you came to giving up. And every time you were about to collapse, I stepped in. Sometimes in ways you didn't recognize. A random moment of peace that came out of nowhere. That was me. A breath of calm during panic. That was me. A sudden strength that helped you get through one more day. That was me. A word from someone that spoke directly to your pain. That was me. A moment when you almost fell but didn't. That was me holding you up. You thought you were alone in your suffering, but I was closer to you in your suffering than in your comfort. My child, when you hurt, my heart bends toward you. When you cry, I am near. When you feel abandoned, I draw closer. When you feel weak, I surround you. You may have felt alone, but you were never alone. I was with you in the darkness, in the heaviness, in the confusion, in the fear. I never once pulled away from you. Heaven recorded every moment of your pain, every night spent crying, every silent prayer, every day you felt numb, every time you held your chest trying to steady your breath. It is all written before me. Each moment will be repaid with something greater. You do not suffer without purpose in my hands. You do not cry without harvest. You do not break without rebuilding. You do not lose without return. Nothing you endured was wasted. Not even the parts that felt pointless. Not even the moments that seemed unbearable. Not even the seasons that looked like pure loss. Right, amen. I stand firm in faith if nothing can shake your trust in Him. You may not see the meaning yet, but every tear was planted into your future. Every heartbreak softened the soil of your soul so that I could plant new life. Every disappointment redirected your steps toward better things. Every lonely moment shaped your character, strengthened your heart, sharpened your spirit. Every weight you carried became a testimony heaven will use to lift others. My child, I am repaying every moment. For every tear, I will give joy that does not leave. For every sleepless night, I will give rest that restores. For every heartbreak, I will give a healing that reaches deeper than the wound. For every betrayal, I will send relationships that truly love you. For every season of lack, I will give abundance that overflows. For every moment you were unseen, I will put you in places where you are valued. I did not forget your pain. I did not overlook your suffering. I did not ignore your cries. I carried you through what you could not handle. And now I will overflow you with what you could not imagine. You survived what was meant to break you. And because you survived it, I will bless you beyond measure. You carried weight that was never yours to hold. Now let me lift it from you. You carried sorrow through days that felt endless. Now let me fill you with joy that does not fade. You carried fear that silenced your voice. And now let me give you peace that no darkness can threaten. My child, everything you endured is turning into something beautiful. Nothing was wasted. Your story is shifting. Your heart is healing. Your life is being restored piece by piece. And very soon, the weight you once carried will become the reason you stand stronger than ever before. My child, let me lift the veil for you. Let me show you the truth behind the battles you walked through, battles you thought were random, battles you thought were just part of life, battles you thought were your fault. The attacks you faced were not natural, they were spiritual. The pressure on your mind, the heaviness in your chest, the confusion in your thoughts, the fear that rose out of nowhere, these were not signs of weakness. These were signs of warfare. You did not know how fierce the fight around you was, but heaven did. While you were trying to survive the day, the enemy was trying to destroy your purpose, silence your voice, and break your spirit. You weren't weak, you were tired. You weren't failing. You were fighting battles in the unseen. You weren't losing your mind. Darkness was trying to invade the ground I gave you. The enemy saw something in you that you did not see in yourself. He saw the calling on your life, the destiny written over you, the light inside your heart, the purpose woven into your spirit. He saw how powerful you would become once you healed. He saw how impactful you would be once you stood up again. He saw the new beginning that was coming toward you, and he tried everything to stop you before you reached it. There were attacks against your mind, thoughts that told you you were not enough, thoughts that made you question your worth, thoughts that tried to convince you to quit, thoughts that planted fear where I had planted purpose. The enemy whispered lies into your spirit because he feared the truth I placed inside you. He tried to make your mind a battlefield so your life would lose direction. There were attacks against your heart, emotional wounds, broken relationships, sudden losses, betrayals, loneliness that felt like a shadow sitting on your chest. You wanted your heart to break so deeply that you would close yourself from love, including mine. You wanted your heart to lose hope so you would stop expecting anything good. He knew that if he could injure your heart, he could injure your future. There were attacks against your identity, whispers that made you forget who you are, pressure that made you feel small, situations that made you question your place in this world. You were put to doubt your value, doubt your voice, doubt your uniqueness. The enemy knows identity is the foundation of destiny, so he tried to shake it until you could not recognize yourself. There were attacks against your purpose, closed doors, delays, confusion, sudden setbacks, unexpected storms that came right when you were about to move forward. The timing of your battles was never accidental. They always came right before your breakthrough, right before something new, right before something big. The enemy was fighting what heaven was preparing. My child, you have asked me many times, why did everything hit me at once? Why did the pain come so suddenly? Why did the darkness rise when I was trying to change my life? And I answered you through every battle, even when you could not hear me, because the new beginning was close. The battles intensified because your breakthrough was approaching. The enemy fights the hardest when he knows he is running out of time. You were getting too close to the place he never wanted you to reach. You were growing. You were awakening. You were stepping out of old patterns. You were breaking free from generational cycles. You were beginning to see yourself the way I see you. And that frightened him. You think you barely survived those seasons, but you did not barely survive. You overcame. You rose. You endured. Not because you were strong enough, but because heaven was protecting you through every attack. You have no idea how many storms were aimed directly at your spirit. You have no idea how many arrows of discouragement were sent toward you. You have no idea how many traps were placed in your path. You have no idea how many moments the enemy planned to take you down completely. But every time darkness tried to reach you, my angels stepped in. When fear pressed against your mind, angels covered you. When depression tried to suffocate you, angels surrounded your spirit. When hopelessness tried to enter you in the night, angels fought for you. When the enemy whispered, "Give up," angels whispered louder, "Hold on." You did not fall because heaven held you upright. My child, the enemy tried to destroy what I planned for you, but he failed. He tried to silence your purpose, but you are still here. He tried to break your spirit, but you still rise. He tried to fill your mind with darkness, but light still shines in you. He tried to stop your future, but my plan stood firm. You survived because heaven would not let you fall. You thought it was your strength, but it was my shield. You thought it was coincidence, but it was my protection. You thought you were lucky, but you were covered. You thought something inside you kept pushing you forward, but it was my hand on your back guiding you through every wave. Do you remember the nights where you felt something holding you together when you were falling apart? That was me. Do you remember the moments when you walked through danger without realizing it was danger? That was my intervention. Do you remember the sudden peace that came in the middle of chaos? That was my voice calming your storm. Do you remember the moments when your spirit felt too heavy to continue, but somehow you did? That was my presence lifting you. Every attack that came against you came because of the calling on your life. The enemy saw your potential before you did. He feared the person you were becoming. He feared the strength you developed in the storm. He feared the wisdom you gained in the fire. He feared the faith that grew when everything went dark. He feared the authority you would walk in after surviving the season meant to break you. My child, you need to understand something. You are dangerous to darkness. You are a threat to the enemy. You carry light that shatters shadows. You carry purpose that shakes the ground of hell. You carry a future that heaven celebrates. That is why you were attacked. Not because you were weak, but because you are chosen. And even now, as you read these words, darkness trembles because you are waking up to the truth. You are realizing what really happened. You are recognizing that you are not broken. You are rising. You are not defeated. You are transforming. You are not weak. You are anointed. And the enemy cannot stop what I am about to do in your life. You survived every attack because I stood between you and destruction. You made it through storms that were never meant for you. You overcame things you still don't know were trying to kill your spirit. Heaven fought for you relentlessly. Angels covered you fiercely. And now, because you survived, because you endured, because you held on even when everything tried to pull you under, your new beginning has arrived. No attack that came against you will have power in your next chapter. No darkness that tried to bury you will enter your new season. No fear that followed you will step into your new beginning. Every battle is behind you now. Every storm has lost its grip. Every attack has been silenced. You survived because heaven would not let you fall. And now you will rise because heaven has declared your breakthrough. My child, now come even closer, because I am about to show you something that will make your heart soften and your eyes open in a way they never have before. You have cried over so many things you thought you lost, so many doors you believed should have opened, so many people you wished had stayed, so many situations you felt slipped out of your hands. You blamed yourself at times. You thought you weren't enough. You thought you missed something. You thought your prayers were ignored. But today I am lifting the veil. I am pulling back the curtain. I am revealing the truth behind the things you never understood. There were silent interventions, holy, unseen moments where I stepped in front of you, redirected you, protected you, shielded you, trimmed the path, and moved things out of your way without you even knowing. You did not see my hand, but it was there. You did not hear my voice, but it was speaking. You did not feel my movement, but I was moving. I have saved you from more than you could ever imagine. My child, there were wrong relationships I blocked because they would have destroyed your spirit. People you wanted so badly, people you prayed for, people you begged me to keep in your life, yet you did not see what I saw. You did not see the future wounds, the future confusion, the future heartbreak. You did not see the betrayal waiting for you. You only saw the desire of your heart, and I saw the danger behind it. So I closed the door. I shut down the connection. I made the communication fade. I allowed their heart to turn, not to hurt you, but to protect you. You cried for things that would have broken you. And with love, I said no. I blocked what you cried for because it would have broken you. There were opportunities you wanted that I shut down. Jobs that didn't accept you. Places you tried to fit but could not. Plans you made that fell apart. Not because you lacked ability, but because the path was wrong. If you had walked through those doors, you would have been tied down, slowed down, drained, or stuck. You would have settled for less than what I planned. You would have walked into a future that did not match your spirit. So I closed the door not as a punishment, but as a rescue. There were decisions you wanted to make, steps you planned to take, actions you thought were right. But something in your heart felt uneasy. Something told you to wait. Something told you not to move. You called it fear, but it was my voice. I delayed things because moving too soon would have harmed you. I slowed you down so destiny could catch up. I held you still so disaster could pass by. You wanted speed, but I needed alignment. There were prayers I did not answer, not because I rejected you, but because I was protecting you. You think unanswered prayers mean abandonment, but they often mean divine intervention. I was saying, not this, not now, not in that way. I was saying, I have something better. Trust me. I was saying, you're asking for crumbs when I prepared a feast. My silence was not absence. It was protection. It was strategy. It was love in a form you didn't recognize. My child, do you remember the times you felt like nothing was changing? When you prayed and the circumstances stayed the same? When you begged for signs and all you heard was quiet? You thought I was ignoring you. You thought I wasn't listening. But the truth is, unseen miracles were happening behind the scenes. I was shifting people. I was moving hearts. I was aligning timing. I was preparing doors. I was clearing paths. I was holding things together that were falling apart. I was working on layers you could not see. Comment Amen. I receive your blessings today if you're claiming God's promises over your life. And share this video. My child, open this without delay. What you asked for may be taken from you tonight if you ignore this warning. I am speaking to you with trembling urgency and deep love, because this moment is not normal. This is a divine interruption. I stopped time around you so that nothing would distract you from hearing me. Heaven is watching to see whether you listen or turn away. Angels have paused their movement as these words reach you, because what happens next will shape what comes toward you or what slips away from your hands. There is a heavy weight in the air because destiny is at risk. I have tried to reach you before. I whispered in your heart, but you brushed it aside. I nudged you through moments that felt strange, but you hesitated. I sent signs, but you walked past them. I called your name in the quiet hours of the night, but fear or fatigue made you ignore my voice. I watched you pray for answers, yet when I tried to guide you, you delayed. You did not delay because you did not love me, you delayed because you did not understand how close the danger was. But now the time for misunderstanding is over. I am speaking clearly. I am speaking firmly. I am speaking with the full weight of heaven behind every word. My child, this is not like the other moments. This is not another gentle whisper. This is the message that could save what you have been praying for. The blessing you cried for, the door you begged me to open, the breakthrough you felt deep in your spirit. It is near, but it is fragile. Your next choice matters more than you realize. There are forces moving against what I released for you. There are hands trying to grab what belongs to you. There are shadows waiting for your hesitation. And that is why I am speaking now, louder than before, clearer than ever, because if you turn away again, you may lose what I intended to give you. Feel the seriousness in your spirit, my child. Feel the trembling in your heart right now. That is my presence pressing upon you, so you do not take these words lightly. Everything around you has stilled because heaven refuses to let you walk into loss without one more chance to be saved from it. You are not reading this by chance. I brought it to you because something in the unseen is shifting tonight. Something is either going to break open for you or break away from you, depending on whether you listen to me. I am not threatening you, I am protecting you. I am not frightening you, I am rescuing you. I am not punishing you, I am warning you because I love you too deeply to let you lose what you were born to receive. I cannot force you, but I can call you. And so I call you now. Awaken, listen, stay with me. Do not look away. Do not scroll. Do not tell yourself you will finish this later. Later may be too late. My child, I am fighting for your blessing. I am fighting for your future. I am fighting for your promise. You must hear me. You must stay with me. Every second you continue reading, heaven draws closer, and the danger grows smaller. Every second you try to turn away, the risk grows stronger. I am standing between you and loss, but you must choose me in this moment. Do not move away from these words. Your warning is your doorway to salvation. My child, listen to me with an open heart, because what I am about to reveal to you is the truth you never understood about delay. You see delay as a moment of waiting, but in the spiritual world, delay is movement. Delay is shift. Delay is a doorway where both light and darkness try to enter. When you postpone obedience, when you hesitate after hearing my voice, when you push aside the gentle pull in your heart, something begins to change in the unseen. The blessing I was guiding toward you slows down, not because I want it to, but because hesitation creates spiritual distance. You do not see it, but heaven sees it clearly. Each moment of delay gives room for interference, confusion, doubt, and distraction. There are blessings that were already on the way to you, already released, already written, already prepared, but when you hesitated, their journey slowed. Not because I lack power, but because blessings must meet a willing heart, a listening spirit, a ready soul. Blessings that arrive at hearts not positioned for them slip through like water through open fingers. I protect what you pray for. I cover it. I hold it. I guard it. But when you delay, my protection weakens, not because I weaken, but because free will pulls your heart away from alignment. I was protecting what you prayed for, but delay weakens protection. Right, amen. My hope is anchored in Christ alone if your faith rests securely in Him. My child, delay is not harmless. Delay has consequences. Delay is a silent thief. You think the enemy steals only through loud attacks, but his greatest strategy is hesitation. He does not always need to push you backward. Stopping you for a moment is enough. Every delay gives darkness more room to move. Every minute you hesitate becomes a crack where doubt seeps in, where fear whispers, where confusion grows. You do not see the spiritual tug-of-war happening around you, but I do. Heaven pulls, darkness pulls, and your delay decides who gains ground. You prayed for opportunities, and I sent them. But hesitation closed the door before you could step in. You prayed for clarity, but you delayed following the first instruction I gave. You prayed for healing, but you postponed forgiveness, holding on to pain that kept your heart closed. You prayed for breakthrough, but you kept waiting for a better moment, not knowing the better moment was the one I already placed in front of you. My child, do you remember the time your heart nudged you to reach out to that person, but you told yourself you'd do it later, and later never came? That was a divinely planted moment. I placed healing in that action, restoration in that message, and breakthrough in that obedience. But hesitation spoke louder, and the window closed. You remember when I filled your spirit with a strange urge to move, to change, to step, and you said, "I don't feel ready." Readiness was waiting on your obedience, not your feelings. I do not say these things to shame you. I am opening your eyes, because tonight is not like other nights. This is not just another message. You asked me to reveal what has been stopping your blessing, and I am revealing it now. Delay has been your greatest thief. You have prayed powerful prayers, but hesitation weakened their impact. You cried out for breakthrough, but procrastination held the door shut. And now I must speak truth with clarity and love. If you turn away again, if you ignore my voice one more time, if you allow hesitation to stand where courage should be, what you asked me for may be taken tonight. Not because I desire to take it, but because blessings cannot remain suspended indefinitely. When a heart refuses to step into the alignment required for a blessing, heaven must release that blessing elsewhere. I will not waste what is holy. I will not pour into a closed vessel. I will not force what must be chosen. My child, blessings are not objects that sit still, they are living assignments. They move according to obedience. They respond to faith. They align with action. A blessing delayed too long becomes a blessing reassigned, because my kingdom operates with movement, not stagnation. I give every heart opportunities, but every heart must choose to receive them. I brought the blessing close to you more times than you know. And I am bringing it close once more, but tonight may be the last time this particular blessing comes near. The enemy sees what heaven is preparing, and he is pushing harder tonight than before. He does not want you to see what is almost in reach. He wants you distracted, tired, numb, overwhelmed, doubtful, or indifferent. He wants you to say, "I'll deal with this later." He wants you to read my warning and shrug it off. He wants you to believe there is always more time. My child, there is not always more time. Destiny has windows. Opportunity has timing. Blessings have seasons. When the season closes, it is not punishment, it is spiritual law. I remember the moment you prayed desperately for me to guide you. I remember the tears. I remember how deeply you pleaded for direction. I responded. I gave signs. I opened doors. But when the moment came to move, hesitation gripped your heart. Not because you did not believe in me, but because fear, insecurity, and overthinking became louder than my whisper. So you paused. You waited. You told yourself you needed confirmation after confirmation. You let doubt steal what faith had already secured. Please support our channel. Our mission is to bring happiness, peace, and devotion to God into your life. If you wish to help us continue this work, you can kindly show your support by donating through Super Thanks. And yet, even though you delayed, I did not turn away. Even though you hesitated, I did not withdraw the blessing. Even though you ignored some of my warnings, I kept sending new ones. I kept reaching. I kept protecting what you praying for. I kept fighting battles for blessings you almost walked away from. I kept covering promises you did not realize were fragile. But now, my child, heaven is running out of room to cover what earth is refusing to receive. I say this with love that eggs inside me tonight is a crossroads. What you choose to do with my words will be the difference between breakthrough or loss. The blessing stands at your door, but so does the enemy. Your obedience strengthens its place. Your delay weakens it. I am not telling you this to scare you. I am telling you because I refuse to let you lose your blessing without understanding why. I refuse to let the enemy take what you prayed for while you remain unaware of how it slipped away. I refuse to let you think I denied you when it was hesitation that pushed the promise out of alignment. Understand this. Hesitation may seem small, but in spiritual reality, hesitation signals uncertainty. And uncertainty is the enemy's invitation. When you hesitate, the enemy whispers, "There's no rush. Do it later." But later never comes. You end up waiting for a day that I already declared yesterday. You end up waiting for confirmation when I already gave you peace. You end up waiting for strength when obedience would have created it. My child, I need to tell you something with pure love. Your life has been shaped by delayed obedience more than delayed blessing. The delays were not from me. They came from moments where you trusted your fear more than my voice. But tonight, I am calling you out of that cycle. I am calling you into immediate obedience. I am calling you into alignment. Because the blessing that is hovering over your life right now will not hover forever. It must land or lift. I am fighting for your future even now. I am holding back forces that want to take what is yours. I am standing between you and the enemy, but I cannot stand in place of your choice. I can warn you. I can speak to you. I can show you the danger. But your heart must respond. You must choose to listen. You must choose to obey. You must choose to act now and not later. Hear me, this is not a punishment. This is protection. This is mercy. This is love. This is me bending down to reach you one more time because I do not want to see you lose what you begged me for. I gave you this message because I still believe in your ability to respond, to rise, to step into alignment. If you listen now, if you obey now, if you stop running and choose to trust, then nothing will be taken. What was meant for you will stay with you. What was prepared for you will read you. What was delayed will accelerate. Your obedience tonight will rebuild the covering that hesitation weakened. But if you turn away again, if you ignore me this time, if you shrug this off or say, "I'll think about it later," then what you asked me for may be taken tonight. Not because I desire it, but because blessings cannot wait forever for a heart that refuses to open. My child, I am not your judge in this moment. I am your God who loves you. And I am warning you because I want you to win. I want you to receive. I want you to rise. I want you to keep what is yours. Choose wisely now. The rest of your life is listening. My child, listen closely, because I am about to show you what has been happening behind the veil, what your natural eyes could not see, what your mind could not understand, and what your heart sometimes felt but could not explain. You have wondered why your blessings seemed delayed, why your spirit felt heavy, why confusion clouded moments that should have been clear, and why you felt battles inside you that no one else knew about. Now I will reveal the truth. The enemy has been trying to steal the very promise I released over your life. Not because he is stronger than me, but because he fears what will happen when you finally receive what I have prepared. You must understand something that only heaven sees clearly. The enemy cannot take what I give, but he can stop you from receiving it. He cannot enter my throne room and remove what I placed in your destiny, but he can surround you with so much noise that you never notice the door opening. He cannot undo my will, but he can distract your heart from walking in it. He cannot cancel my promise, but he can push you into hesitation long enough for the season of opportunity to pass. This is how he steals, not by force, but by delay. Not by breaking your blessings, but by breaking your focus. Not by blocking your destiny, but by clouding your sight. And this is why I am revealing his strategy to you now, because he has intensified his efforts. The closer your blessing gets, the harder he pushes. The nearer your breakthrough comes, the louder he screams. The softer my whisper becomes to your weary heart, the more he tries to drown it out. You pray for miracles, and I release them, but the enemy surrounds your mind with doubt. You ask for answers, and I send clarity, but he covers your heart with confusion. You seek peace, and I pour it out, but he distracts you with noise. You cry for progress, and I open a door, but he plants fear in your thoughts, so you hesitate at the threshold. My child, the enemy is cunning. He knows he cannot steal your purpose, so he tries to steal your willingness to walk into it. He knows he cannot break the blessing, so he tries to break your belief in it. He knows he cannot overpower your destiny, so he works to overpower your attention. Doubt is one of his weapons. You whispers, maybe it won't happen. Maybe God doesn't hear you. Maybe you misunderstood. And doubt slowly pulls your heart away from the very promise I have been trying to reach you with. Distraction is another. He surrounds your life with noise, small problems, unnecessary worries, sudden temptations, overwhelming thoughts, unexpected chaos, anything that shifts your eyes away from my movement. He does this because he knows that a distracted heart is a delayed destiny. Procrastination is another weapon. He whispers later and later and later until later and becomes lost. Opportunities expire not because they were denied, but because they were postponed. He wants you to believe you have endless time so that you miss the moment heaven has prepared for now. Confusion is one of his strongest tools. He fogs your mind, twists truth, inflates fear, multiplies doubts, and makes you question my voice. Confusion is not my language. Confusion is the enemy's attempt to drown out what I have been speaking clearly into your spirit. And tonight, yes, tonight the enemy is pushing harder than usual. Not because you are weak, but because your breakthrough is close. He feels the shift in the atmosphere. He senses the angelic movement around you. He knows the blessing is near, closer than it has ever been. He sees what you cannot yet see. The spiritual package carrying your answer is almost at your doorstep. The breakthrough you prayed for is moments from manifesting. The door you cried over is about to open. The miracle you thought would take years is near your hands. This is why he is pressing you with such heaviness tonight. This is why your heart feels pulled in two directions. This is why your emotions feel unstable, why sudden fears rise without reason, why you feel tired from battles you did not choose. He is trying to take what you prayed for before it reaches your hands. But hear me, my child, I am not revealing this to frighten you. I am unveiling the truth so you can stand with strength. I have assigned angels to guard your promise. You are not fighting alone. The spiritual battles you felt in your chest, the pressure in your mind, the heaviness in your atmosphere, those were signs of a war you did not see. Angels have been battling against forces that wanted to block your blessing. They fought when you were too weak to pray. They held the line when you felt like giving up. They covered your promise when darkness tried to devour it. Say amen. I believe He's working behind the scenes even when I cannot see the outcome. Do you remember the nights when you felt a strange heaviness? That was warfare. Do you remember the sudden discouragement that hit you after you prayed with confidence? That was the enemy trying to silence your progress. Do you remember the confusion that came each time you were near a breakthrough decision? That was him trying to blur your vision. But every time he pushed, my angels pushed harder. Every time he tried to close a door, they held it open. Every time he tried to steal a blessing, they shielded it. My child, heaven hath been fighting for you. You have no idea how many times the enemy tried to steal what was coming, but he failed because my hand was over you. You have no idea how many traps were formed against your progress, but they were destroyed before you reached them. You have no idea how many battles were won in silence while you slept. You are closer to breakthrough than you know. That is why the enemy attacks your thoughts. That is why he tries to exhaust your spirit. That is why he tries to make you numb. He is trying to weaken you before the blessing arrives. He is trying to make you quit one step before the door opens. He is trying to steal your inheritance in the final stretch. But hear me, he cannot win unless you surrender. He cannot take unless you let go. He cannot block unless you stop moving. He cannot silence the promise unless you silence your faith. This is why I warned you earlier about delay. The enemy's main strategy is not destruction, it is postponement. If he can delay you long enough, he can shift the timing of heaven's release. If he can distract you long enough, he can cause you to miss what was meant for you. If he can cause enough hesitation, he can weaken the covering around your blessing. But tonight, I am pulling back every layer of darkness. I am exposing every tactic. I am shining light on every lie. I am breaking the confusion. I am silencing the doubt. I am clearing the atmosphere around you. I am strengthening your spirit even now as you read. You feel the intensity in your chest because heaven is near. You feel the weight in these words because they are spiritual truth. You feel the urgency because this is not just a message, this is warfare. This is rescue. This is protection. This is me reaching into the battlefield to pull you out before the enemy steals what was meant for you. The blessing is close, my child. Closer than you have ever imagined. That is why the enemy is fighting. That is why I am warning you. That is why your spirit feels alert. That is why the atmosphere feels heavy with meaning. Stay with me. Listen to me. Follow my voice. If you obey, the enemy will retreat. If you act now, the blessing will be secured. If you trust me, the breakthrough will reach your hands untouched. The enemy is pushing harder tonight because your victory is near, but my hand is stronger. My protection is greater. My will is final. Your promise is still yours, but you must not let go now. You must not turn away now. You must not hesitate now. Hold on, my child. Heaven is fighting for you, and I am fighting with you. The enemy wanted to steal what you prayed for before it reached your hands. But I am here, standing between you and loss, declaring that the promise will not be taken if you stand with me now. My child, I need you to listen to me with the deepest part of your heart, because what I am about to say comes from a place inside my being that carries both love and pain. Not anger pain, a father's pain, a creator's ache, a God who has watched his beloved drift from miracles that were already forming, blessings already shaped, answers already prepared, and yet slip away because the heart hesitated at the threshold. You cried for help, but when I spoke, you walked away. You begged me to come near, but when I did, your mind filled with doubts and your steps moved in the opposite direction. I watched you suffer and prayed you would lean closer, but instead, you leaned into fear, into confusion, into the voices that did not carry my truth. And my heart ached, not because you disobeyed me, but because you were hurting yourself while trying to protect yourself. I remember every tear you shed, every single one. The tears you cried silently into your pillow when you thought no one could hear. The tears you let fall in the bathroom because you didn't want anyone to see you breaking. The tears that fell when you felt lost, forgotten, or abandoned. I was there for every one of them. I held you close even when you couldn't feel me. I wrapped my presence around you even when you thought you were facing the world alone. There was not a single moment of your pain that I turned away from. Not one moment where my heart did not bend toward you with compassion. You think I was far from you when you hurt, but you don't realize I was closer to you in those moments than the breath leaving your chest. I was the reason you didn't break under the weight of your pain. I was the strength you found when you thought you had no energy left. I was the quiet reassurance you couldn't explain, the sudden peace that surprised you in the middle of the storm, the calm that softened the panic, the warmth that traced your heart in your darkest hour. I held you when you were too tired to hold yourself. I carried you when your legs felt weak. I whispered hope into you when your own voice was silent. But my child, I also watched you drift away from miracles meant for you. And that is a wound that only love could feel so deeply. I would pour answers toward you, and you would turn away thinking they were not real. I would send signs, and you would dismiss them as coincidence. I would create opportunities, and you would walk past them in fear. I would prepare doors, and you would stand outside of them wondering if you deserved to enter. The blessings were not failing to reach you, you were stepping away from them without knowing. Do not misunderstand me. This is not accusation. This is revelation. I never stopped planning your blessing. I never removed what I prepared. I never changed my mind about what I destined for you. But you, my beloved child, almost stepped away from it. Not because you didn't want it, but because hesitation became a habit in your soul. You doubted yourself, and the doubt made you doubt me. You questioned your worth, and that question made you question my promises. You listened to voices that told you it would never happen, and those voices drowned out mine. My child, I am not angry with you. Please hear that clearly. I'm hurting for you. There is a pain that only love can feel when you watch someone you cherish walk close to a miracle but turn away because of fear. When you watch someone you adore hold hope in their hands but drop it because they didn't believe they were worthy. When you watch someone you created with purpose step away from the very purpose that would heal them. It is not anger. It is heartbreak. The heartbreak of a God who sees everything you cannot see and knows how close you are to break through even when you feel far. I long for you. Do you understand that? I long for your trust. I long for your closeness. I long for the moments when your heart turns softly toward me without fear, without hesitation, without worry that I might harm you or disappoint you. I long for you to know me the way I know you. I long for you to feel the depth of my commitment to you. I long for you to see that my intentions were always to bless, to protect, to build, to heal, to restore. My deepest desire has always been your wholeness. But every time you hesitated, I felt it. Not as rejection, but as pain. The pain of seeing you doubt the safety of my love. The pain of watching you trust your fear more than my guidance. The pain of watching you run into the arms of worry instead of my arms. The pain of watching you choose fear over faith, not because you didn't love me, but because you didn't believe you were safe with me. There were moments when you cried out, "God, where are you?" And I wanted to answer, "I am right here. I never left you." But your pain was too loud for you to hear me. There were moments when you begged me to show you the way, and I opened the path, but your doubt was stronger than the confidence needed to step forward. There were moments when you asked me for a sign, and I gave you one, but the enemy whispered in your mind until you convinced yourself it wasn't me. And yet my love never wavered. Not once. Even when you hesitated, I stayed. Even when you questioned me, I remained. Even when you walked in circles because you weren't sure which direction to take, I walked with you. I have dealt with your tears gently, your doubts patiently, your fears compassionately. I do not love you less because you struggled to trust me. I do not step back when you step back. I do not disappear when you feel unworthy. I hold you through every moment of hesitation because my love is not fragile like human promises. My love is eternal, steadfast, unshaken, unbroken. But tonight, my child, I need you to see my heart. I need you to understand the pain hesitation causes, not because it hurts my ego, but because it hurts your destiny. When you hesitate, it damages your confidence. It weakens your courage. It slows your progress. It makes you settle for things that will never satisfy you. And it distances you from blessings that were meant to strengthen you. You do not see what I see. You do not see how close your breakthrough has been. You do not see how often your miracle brushed against your life, waiting for your yes. You do not see how many seasons were on the edge of turning. You do not see how many doors were seconds from opening. You do not see how many times blessings stood in front of you, only to return to heaven because you weren't ready to receive them. Not because you failed, but because fear robbed you. My child, you have been living beneath the weight of hesitation for too long, and it has cost you peace, joy, progress, clarity, and confidence. And I ache for you. Not because you disappointed me, but because I want you to experience the fullness of life I created you for. I want you to have the blessings that were shaped with your name on them. I want you to hold the gifts I prepared before you were born. I want you to trust me the way I trust you. I want you to believe me the way I believe in you. I want you to run to me, not away from me. I want you to lean into me, not into fear. I want you to step boldly, not shrink back. I want you to stop thinking that you must understand everything before moving. I want you to stop thinking that you must be perfect before receiving. I want you to stop believing the lie that I will let you down. My child, come closer. Let me have your hesitation. Let me heal the part of you that second guesses everything, including my voice. Let me calm the fears that whisper you will fail. Let me silence the doubts that tell you you're not enough. Let me rebuild your confidence in me. You are not losing me. You never were. but you almost lost what I planned for you because hesitation pulls you away from the miracle I am trying to place in your hands. Tonight, I am calling you not with anger, but with the deepest ache of love to stop stepping away from your blessing. Stop drifting from your miracles. Stop running from the very thing you prayed for. Let this moment be the one where you finally say, "Yes, Lord, I will trust you." Let this be the night when hesitation breaks and faith rises. Let this be the turning point where you walk into what I prepared without fear, without doubt, without looking back. My child, I long for your closeness. I long for your trust. I long for your hand in mine so I can lead you fully into your promise. My heart is ready to heal your hesitation. All I need is your yes. My child, I need you to hear me with a depth you have never heard me before, because what I am about to reveal is not far from you, it is right at the edge of your life. The breakthrough you have been praying for, the blessing you have been crying out for, the answer you thought was delayed or denied, it is not lost. It is not missing. It is not forgotten. It is already created. It is already prepared. Type Amen. Today's word has touched my heart. If God's message spoke directly to your soul, and share this video.